Blogger. You click on Mid-City Studio. Okay, so what I've done is I've set up a series of posts, one for each group. And so I'm going to just give each of you guys a group number, so you need to write this down. All right, so Mr. Hemel, you are group 1. Kuvion, 2. Beaudry, 3. Louder, 4. Armstrong, 6. Dedevo, 7. Barrios, 9. Shotlin, 11. Nguyen, 12. Rose, 14. And Zering, 15. Okay, everybody got their number? Okay. And I'll email this list so everybody knows what their number is. Okay, so once you have your number, you go on to Blogger, and each of you guys, I'm going to have to make you admins so that you can come back and edit this, because since I've installed all of these posts, it says that it's posted by me. That way all of the project pages remain anonymous. But all you have to do is once you're made an admin, you come in. So if I'm in group 1, so this would be you, Kyle, you would come in and hit edit. Ignore all the HTML. Okay. So this is what the post looks like, and it's sort of a template that I've already set up. You don't have to use this exact template, but it's there for your reference, and you can delete things and add them as you need to. So all I did again was I went and pressed edit next to the group number. And it'll bring it up, and you can switch between seeing the blog and HTML up here on the left, these two buttons. Now if you want to see what it actually looks like in your web browser, if you hit preview over here towards the right, it will open a new tab, and it'll render everything. It'll put the right text in the right size, because in the editor, it just looks like Times New Roman, but that's not what it's going to look like. So you have to test it by hitting preview, so you can see what everything looks like. It puts the blog kind of header up here. Okay, so basic requirements. Each team needs to use the header template, and if you click right here, there's a link to it on each group's page. And here, let me actually go and view. If you want to actually view the page, make sure and hit update to save any changes. And then in that same little pop-up menu under each page, you see a view button. And so I can hit view. And when it's on preview, it says preview up here, and it'll have this little banner across the side. So this is the actual page. In preview, none of the links or anything work. It's just to show you what it will look like. So on the actual page, if you click on header template, I uploaded all of these to Google Docs. It's just a JPEG. It's set to the right DPI. You can open this in Photoshop and do whatever you need to on top of it. You can delete the background, whatever. It's just a template to give you the right dimensions and the right resolution for the header image. And you can download that or save it by just clicking this, download the current version. Same thing, so not only the header template, but also a couple other templates. This is just a simple kind of rectangular image that's 6 inches by 10 inches. And again, there's another link to a template right underneath it. Here's one for kind of longer landscape scale drawings. Maybe you have a long section that's 3 by 10 inches, and these are at 300 DPI. So that way when I click on them, it'll zoom in and show me a nice high quality image. You can adjust these if you have something that's much longer that needs to be shorter. Just as long as you stay to that kind of 10-inch length, it'll help keep some consistency on your blog page.
Do we need to set up those links, like when you click on it and it goes to, you can see it like that?
It just does it automatically. It just zooms in to maximize the size of the image.
Okay.
Down here are some smaller sizes. What you'll notice is that all of these say 6 by 10 at 300 DPI. So what happens is these are just references of this original image. And so what I'm going to do is walk you through how I kind of set up the page. So if I go to this page, the only things you guys will need to change is to put your actual proposal name here. So you can just highlight that and change it. Leave this back to entries button where it is, because we're going to have a competition page that says proposal 1, proposal 2 for the judging. And so this button will take the jury back to the page where they can see all of the entries. So again, as I mentioned, there's a header template. So each team has to have that header image and your proposal name and that link. The next component that all the pages have to have is a 75-word kind of intro statement that'll sit right under the proposal name. This is not the only text that you have. It's just to keep some consistency across the pages so that you have a brief kind of text overview. The rest of the page, you can insert images, however, whatever size you need. The easiest way to set up the page is just to insert basic images and then put text in between them. It's the simplest, it'll give you the least amount of trouble in setting up the page. And so what I did for these, so like for your header image, if you click on it, anytime you click on an image, this little menu is going to come up, and I can change the size that it displays. Because this image is already sized to the width of the blog at the proper DPI, it's 760 by 262 pixels, it's set to original size. So that image is it is what it is. And all of the images have been left aligned, and I would just keep it that way to keep it consistent, keep it all simple, and make it easy on yourselves. So the other thing that will happen is once you insert this image, and I'll show you what I did. I'm going to remove it so it's gone. So I go to the little picture up here to insert image, and typically Blogger will show you things that you've recently uploaded since you last logged in. But so I click Upload, which is this top tab, choose Files, and then I go to where I have all of my drawings. And so I go to Competition Templates, and I have this header image. The editable header, well, actually, you can just edit this JPEG. So I'm going to click that, it uploads it, I choose it, and then I hit Add Selected. And what it's going to do is it's going to automatically center it and set it to medium. So because this is already the exact size that I want, again, I'm going to click Original Size, and then click Left, and so it'll left align everything. The other thing that you need to do is go to the HTML part of the page. And so what's going to happen is this block up here, this first chunk, is that actual image. So when you post an image on the page, it's going to have all this stuff that says div and class. You don't need any of that stuff. All we need, so I'm going to delete it. All we need is where it starts with this little less than sign and the letter A and then href. That is code that represents a link. So whenever you have an image or anything that's going to link to something, it'll open up with this line. So A, href equals, and then a quotation mark, and then a web address will be inside of that. So this is an automatically generated web address that Blogger puts together. And if you look all the way at the end of it, it will have the name that I've made. So you can see it says 760 by 262 header image, blah, blah, blah. That's the file name that I've created. Now, for this first image, if I go to my blog page, right, I don't want to be able to click on that. It's just a header image. It doesn't need to link to anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that A href line. And I want to go all the way down to where I see another bracket. These two bracket symbols, the greater than and less than signs, always indicate the beginning or the end of like a line of code. And so I'm going to delete from that first less than sign to the first greater than sign, and that's what's making that image link to something. So the next line is image, which is actually what's putting the image in there. So it'll say img for image. It'll also say border and a bunch of other stuff. All we need is where it says source equals, and then it has the link to the actual source of the image. So I'm going to delete that.
If we don't delete it, will we like mess it up? If we don't delete that, will it mess it up?
It may make it kind of bounce around when you click from page to page. It's better if you just delete that stuff. And if you have issues with it or trouble, just come and grab me and I can show you again how to do it. It's pretty simple. So then I'm going to go and delete that other A tag and the div tag behind it. So all I have is, actually wait, hold on, I think I messed that up. Don't delete this where it says image border. Just delete these little A and this div back here. So all I want to see is image, border equals 0, and then the source of the image, and that's it. So then when I go back to compose, my image is there. Now one thing that happened is it kind of moved this thing up. So again, if I go to the HTML, this little tag right here that says it's an open bracket BR space /, that means like enter down. So I'm just going to copy that and paste another one. So there's 2 of them. So now when I go to compose, you can see it's added a space in between.
So what's the point of deleting all that stuff?
So that way when you go to your page, it won't create a link to this. This is just a set kind of image. So like if I'm on the studio website, this is just an image that's there as the kind of intro to the page.
As opposed to being one of these bottom ones.
Yeah, which actually brings up and links to this, and I can kind of click through.
So after this first part, we're not messing with coding.
Right, after that first part, you're not messing with code. And if you really like can't handle that, just come and find me, and I'll do it for you after you put your image in there. It's really easy.